everyone. Today we're going to be going over our culminating assignment that we will be working on for the rest of the semester. Okay, so let's go over the culminating assignment together. You are going to be creating a thesis-based research paper. Just move myself out of the way there. So for your summative, you will have an opportunity to conduct an in-depth inquiry into an independent research topic selected from an array of issues and topics of contemporary social concern. The purpose of this in-depth research will be to formulate a thesis about your topic and then produce a 4 to 5 page argumentative essay to support your position. You are essentially identifying your position on the topic and using various philosophical theories, philosophers, and concepts to support your position. This essay should follow proper writing conventions and research. Your investigation should be organized. Let me just make myself smaller if I can. Should be organized and demonstrate critical thinking skills and an analysis of a range of sources, including the works of philosophers who have pondered similar, if not the same, issues. You must include theories and philosophers from social and political philosophy and 2 other units. So something like metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, nihilism, existentialism, utopian versus dystopian in the allegory of the cave, anything along those lines. Basically, if we have studied it, it is free for you to choose. You may also wish to choose a different philosopher that we have not discussed yet, which is completely fine, but you just have to send me a little email first. Let me know which philosopher you're using so I know it's appropriate. So the essay should be AP formatted. You can use I, but it should be academic language, and it needs to be typed size 12-point font, double-spaced. Whoops, go back. So there are several landmarks that you'll hit during the writing process, and you're going to submit each component. So there's the topic selection chart where you will choose your topic, the annotated bibliography and research chart, the outline, which will have no extensions. You may only hand it in by the due date. If it's too late for the due date, then just don't hand it in at all. It's either 5 marks, yes, you did it, or it's a 0. So make sure you get that handed in time. And then you also have the essay. So how to write a research essay is linked here if you wish to have a little bit more information about that. So you're going to go through this checklist and make sure that you have everything completed. Final copy of the essay, works cited with proper citations in APA format. You want to have no spelling or grammar errors. The essay is double-spaced and is within the limit. And your bibliography of references should be a minimum of 6 academic sources, which you will add to your research chart and submit as a bibliography. So I'm going to go briefly through the topics. I went through them in more detail in the live lesson, and the recording is available for that as well. So the topics are here, and you can sort of think about whether you would like to do any of these. So welfare and charity, addictive substances, assisted suicide, parenthood, animal rights, governmental corruption, rehabilitation of criminals, medical care, immigration, freedom of speech, gambling, privacy rights, grade inflation, international obligations, ethics of reality TV, online crime, and social media. And the rubric is as follows. So this is all of the level 4 things that are in the rubric in your content. So I'm just going to go over them briefly. So you want to demonstrate thorough knowledge and understanding of research topic and provide exceptional philosophical evidence. You need to provide exceptional philosophical evidence to support your argument. So what does that mean? Direct quotation from the philosophers, right? So direct quotes from your research and also from the philosophers, and they need to be connected. It needs to make sense. You're not going to just have a random quote from the philosopher and then this is what I'm researching. You need to be able to tie them together with your own words. Thinking and inquiry. You want to interpret and evaluate information gathered with a high degree of effectiveness. You want to form insightful connections and conclusions, and you are going to employ research and inquiry skills with a high degree of effectiveness. You're going to use critical and creative thinking skills with a high degree of effectiveness. And I am going to ask you to color code this the same way you've been doing all the way along. So you're going to have your purple, you're going to have your gold, you're going to have your bold, and of course you're going to have your direct quotations with quotation marks around them, and then in brackets you're going to put your source. So you want to make sure those things are very clearly communicated. So if it's difficult for me to sort of search through your assignment, or you just highlight like whole paragraphs and it's like, this is a connection, it needs to be more specific than that. So for example, if, part of a sentence is a connection and then the other part is a direct quote, you want to make sure that you're highlighting them, bolding them appropriately. You want to communicate information and ideas with a high degree of clarity and confidence, meaning academic language. You want to be very clear and concise in what you're presenting, and you want to communicate with a strong sense of audience and purpose. So make sure that you are using the absolute best words and phrasing possible as you are completing this. You want to use conventions, vocabulary, and terminology with a high degree of effectiveness. So I want to see lots of those bolded keywords all the way through. You want to make connections with a high degree of effectiveness. So anytime that you are, presenting something that is a connection, you're going to be highlighting that in gold. You want to demonstrate thorough understanding of the analytic essay and format and documents sourced in APA format with a high degree of effectiveness. So here's a little chart that just sort of shows the due dates as they go along. June the 3rd, your outline is due. So as I said before, it's either a mark received or it's not a mark received. This is going to be a pass-fail situation. So if you hand in an outline that is well done by June the 3rd, I'll give you a 5 out of 5. If you don't hand anything in, it's a 0. So it really is that simple. There's not going to be any extensions. There will be no late outlines received. And it's basically just me making sure that you are working along as you should. And it also gives me an opportunity to provide you with some feedback to make sure that you are on the right track. So if you hand in your outline June 3rd, you will get feedback. If you don't hand it in, you get a 0. It's really that simple. So the bibliography and research chart are due on June 17th. Make sure that it's in APA format and that you submit both of those things. So basically bibliography in APA format plus the copy and paste research chart, which is linked right here. And then your final essay is also due June the 17th. It needs to be polished. It needs to be perfect. So if it's late, I will be taking 10% off. But you can still hand it in. So as long as you hand it in by June the 21st. June 21st is going to be my ultimate deadline for the research chart, the bibliography, and the culminating. So if I don't receive your assignment by June 21st at 11:59 p.m., it will be a permanent 0. So that's just, it needs to be that way. I really do need to set that final deadline so that I have time to dedicate to marking it and having my marks handed in to the office. So that's basically it. June 3rd, you get your outline in. June 17th, you hand in your essay and your bibliography. And then if you happen to miss that, really aim for the 17th. But if you miss it, I'll just take 10% off and you can still submit to the 21st. After the 21st, it is a permanent 0. So that's about it. If you have any questions, email at any time and I will do my best to help you out.